Welcome to Netley Abbey. Netley Abbey is the most complete surviving Cistercian monastery in southern England. The ruins reflect over 800 years of change, during which the abbey was transformed from a monastic house to a mansion house, and later to a romantic ruin. Peter des Roches, the powerful Bishop of Winchester, founded the abbey in 1238. 1 year later, a colony of monks arrived from nearby Bagley Abbey. When the abbey was complete, it was home to about 15 monks and 30 lay brothers, officials and servants. At the suppression of the monasteries in 1536, Henry VIII granted Netley to Sir William Paulet, who transformed the buildings into a great Tudor courtyard house. Even when this house was abandoned in the 18th century, many writers, painters and poets flocked to the site, drawing inspiration from the overgrown and romantic ruin. Abbot's lodging. This building provided accommodation for the abbot, the leader of the monastery. He had his own hall for entertaining guests, a private chapel and his own latrine. The Chapter House. Readings and Rules. This elaborate chamber was used daily by the monks for meetings. Each morning, the meeting started with the reading of the chapter from the Rule of Saint Benedict, the supreme guide for monastic life. The Cistercian order had been founded in 1098 with the specific intention of a closer adherence to this rule. According to the rule, monastic life was based around a simple daytime routine of study, prayer, and manual work. The monks slept in a communal dormitory on the first floor of this range. Cistercian monks rejected all sources of luxury, wearing undyed coarse war habits, giving rise to their popular name, the White Monks. They also ate a meager vegetarian diet and followed a strict rule of silence. To keep from the temptations of the world, Cistercian abbey were built in remote locations. Although hard to imagine today, Netley was once an isolated place, surrounded by dense wood and heathland. Sacristy and bookstore. This space was originally separated into two rooms by a partition. At this end was the Esse Christi, where clothing and precious objects for the church services were stored. The other end was used to store books for the monks to study. From abbey to mansion house. After the abbey was suppressed, it was granted to Sir William Paulet, who converted the buildings into a great country mansion. When Henry VIII suppressed Netley Abbey in 1536, monastic life came to an abrupt end. The buildings were granted to Sir William Paulet, as a reward for his loyal service to the king. Paulet was the first Marquess of Winchester, a powerful political figure in Hampshire. He held important posts, including treasurer of the royal household. Having acquired the abbey, Paulet set about transforming it into his private mansion, fit for a nobleman of his standing. Cleverly reusing many of the abbey buildings, he created a fashionable Tudor courtyard house. Many dramatic changes took place. Here, in the cloister, once the hub of monastic life, a central courtyard was created. The monks' dining room, which was situated behind you, was demolished to make way for a grand turreted entrance. The alterations that Paulet made were largely in brick, but were mostly removed in the later 19th century. As you explore the abbey, look out for these brick remnants of Sir William's mansion. The romance of Netley. Overgrown and deserted, the abbey was not forgotten. In the 18th century, many Romantic writers, artists and poets, in search of the romantic and the picturesque, were attracted to the atmospheric ruins. Sir William Paulet's mansion was occupied until 1704, when the owner sold it for building materials. The abbey was only saved when a demolition worker was killed, causing work to cease. As the Romantic movement grew in strength, many authors and artists visited the abbey to find inspiration. Set amongst the wild, wooded slopes above Southampton Water, overgrown Netley appeared to be the perfect medieval ruin. John Constable came to paint here, and writes such as Thomas Gray enthused about the abbey. It is reported that Jane Austen visited Netley, finding inspiration here for her novel Northanger Abbey, published 1817. In the abbey became a popular place for local people to come for tea, dancing and music. Some visitors complained that the romantic atmosphere was ruined by the popping of ginger beer. Later, changing attitudes led the owner to clear the vegetation and debris from the ruins. All traces of the later Tudor alterations were removed, and the abbey ruins were returned to their pristine elegance. The ruins are vast, and retain fragments of beautiful fretted roofs pendant in the air, with all variety of Gothic patterns of windows wrapped round and round with ivy. They are not ruins of Netley, but of paradise. Oh, the Purple Abbots! What a spot had they chosen to slumber in! A letter from the author Horace Walpole to a friend, describing Netley Abbey as it appeared in 1755. Netley Abbey, the property of the Chamberlain family, was placed in the guardianship of the Commissioners of Works under the Ancient Monuments Act 1913 by Tankerville Chamberlain Esq of Cranberry Park, Winchester. August 1922. And Netley Abbey is also haunted. Blind Peter. One ghost by the name of Blind Peter, probably often manifest on Halloween. Some people believe that can be famous tall black shadow figure. He was a Cistercian monk who guards the abbey's treasure, hidden in a secret tunnel. This secret underground passage was sealed after the last man to enter it emerged shortly after, screaming, "Block it up," before dropping dead. Three Grey Ladies. These shadowy figures are said to walk the walls of the ruined abbey on Halloween, accompanied by the sound of spectral bells.